Let's go ahead and zoom in and unmask the end polys. Bring up the gizmo and extrude out by holding down Ctrl. Next, we want to press QC50 and polygroup the flat island. Then unmask the polygroup and extrude it out. Now let's unmask the edges and move them forward. Press QC50 and uncrease the edges. Select Polygroup a single poly and alt tag the faces on the top and the bottom. Then mask the polygroup island and invert the mask. Now we can extrude up with the gizmo and continue to scale in and move up to match the reference. Go ahead and repeat the same steps for the bottom. Press Ctrl W to make it a single polygroup, then press QC50. Let's crease the edges to define the shape. Slice in a control loop and crease it. Now we can set the smooth subdivisions to 5 and the crease level to 3. Unmask the side polys and move them up. Mask the poly loop and press Ctrl W to make it a new poly group. Unmask the poly group and then extrude them up with the gizmo. Now we can collapse the edges at the end of the extrusion. Next, we want to slide the edges down. Then unmask the back faces and delete the edge loop. Let's clip the faces flat and then polygroup the flat eyelid. Control drag on the bevel width slider to create a bevel around the polygroup. Then unmask the back and adjust the thickness. Press QC50 and then adjust the creasing. Now we can make it one polygroup and take a look around the model for any issues. Let's unmask the tip and extrude it out with the gizmo. Move the gizmo to the top and then rotate it out. Now we can move the edge down a little bit. Slice in an edge and then collapse them back. Now we can move the edge down to create an angle change. Alt tag the top faces and delete them. Now we can edge extrude up and taper in until the points weld. If the middle edge starts snapping to one side or the other, just move the pen or mouse up until it stays right in the middle. Make it one polygroup and unmask the edges right down the middle. Then we can move the edges out with the gizmo and scale it in the Y-axis. Uncrease the edges and turn on dynamic. Let's move the top part with either the Z Modeler brush or the Move Infinite Depth brush.